guys, my name's Megan. I'm an outdoor educator at the Kellogg Field School. Kellogg Field School is on the Kellogg campus at Alaska Pacific University. We're located in Palmer, Alaska. That's in the Mat-Su Valley. Today we're starting our Everything Grows series. In this series, you're going to be learning how to start and take care of your very own garden in how many? 8 weeks. So that's 8 weeks, 1 video per week, 8 minutes long. And by the end of this, you'll know how to start your garden and maintain it every single year. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's talk about what we're going to be doing today. Today, we're trying to figure out what this whole garden thing even is. We'll work our brains in a writing activity that helps us establish what we might already know about gardens. We'll take a short journey through the past to see how gardens were used by generations before us. We'll venture outside and set up an experiment that will help us make some observations for learning in our next video. By the end of this lesson, you'll have a greater understanding of what exactly a garden is and how gardens are helpful to a variety of people. Before you open this video, you should have gathered the supplies listed. One of the most important items on our supply list is a journal, which we're going to use to create our garden notebook. This notebook will be our tool to recording observations, making predictions, and documenting personal pictures, stories, and anything else you may want to remember about your personal garden journey. We'll be using our journals throughout every lesson in this series, but this is also your personal journal. Feel free to use it at any time to record anything about your garden journey. You can decorate it, add pictures, drawings, stories, anything that you find important or inspirational. Right now, spend 10 minutes creating a title page for your journal. Make sure to include your name and the title of your notebook. I'm going to call mine Garden Goodness Journal. Pick a title that feels good to you and make sure it relates in some way to this being a garden notebook. Let's take a moment to work our brains and record some thoughts. Open up to the first page after your title page in your journal. I'm going to give you 10 minutes to answer these 4 questions. What is a garden? What is in a garden? What is not in a garden? How are gardens helpful? The next screen will display all 4 questions, so make sure you pause the video so you can look back while you're writing in your journal. There are no right or wrong answers here, just brainstorming. Think about what you may know or information you may have learned or heard from others or seen on TV. Once you finish answering these questions, come back to the video so we can explore our answers. To help us answer our writing questions, let's take a little journey through time to see exactly how gardens started. The beginning of human civilization saw food either being gathered, like picking berries, leaves, edible plants, or hunted, like killing wild animals. As humans began to start settling in one place, rather than moving around, which would categorize them as nomads, they began to realize the importance of growing food near where they were living. People would grow various food-producing plants not only for food, but to protect their homes from wild animals and outsiders they didn't want coming in. Gardens took on a new look in some early civilizations to become pretty landscapes that wealthy leaders of cities would pay to have built. These gardens did not contain food. They included flowers, nicely cut shrubbery, trees, and even ponds. Personal family gardens became very important during both world wars, with the lack of food in stores. Gardens offered families the food they needed to keep their families fed, while also giving them the freedom to plant exactly what they wanted. Gardens are essentially closed off or separated outdoor spaces. Gardens can be specifically for food growing, or specifically for looks, like flower gardens. Our video series is going to focus on how to start a vegetable garden. Our vegetable gardens will only include food that we can eat. So knowing this, our garden will not contain flowers, shrubs, trees, or ponds. Right now, let's take a few minutes to get outside. That's right, get up, run around, jump up and down, do anything that's going to make you feel extra good. Today we're going to be setting up an experiment that's going to answer the question, do plants need light to grow? First we need to gather our materials. You're going to need a small shovel, 1 pack of basil seeds, 2 identical pots to put your seeds in, a small thing of soil, and of course, water. Our first step is to fill each pot with the same amount of soil. So you're going to take your shovel, put the same amount of soil in each little pot until it reaches a little over a finger width from the top. Next, we're going to take our basil seeds. Go ahead and open up your pack. Be super careful because there's a lot of little seeds in there that can spill everywhere. You're going to put the same amount of seeds, 5 seeds in each pot. Once you're done with the seeds, go ahead and put the rest back in your packet. The next step is going to be to put a small amount of soil on top of the seeds just to cover them up. Put a pan underneath your pots just to make sure no water gets on the table. Put a small amount of water in each one. Now you're going to place one pot in the sunlight. So put it next to a window, like maybe on a windowsill. And then you're going to take another one and put it in a very dark place. I'm going to put mine in this cupboard right here so it can't get any light at all. This is really going to help us figure out whether plants need light to grow. Make a prediction about what you think is going to happen to each plant. Write those predictions down in your garden notebook. Next week we'll be looking at our experiment to help us figure out some ideas about plant science. We'll also be looking at soil science. These are 2 things that we really need to know about to help us figure out how to best take care of our garden.